Hey everybody, just wanted to just go through our morning chores during this polar vortex. This is really freaking cold, and we have rabbits and animals out here that we need to take care of and make sure that they survive, so we can breed them and eat them and keep on getting eggs and all that good stuff into the spring. And they don't, and if they die, you have to go get new ones, and it takes them a while to get to maturity, which all of ours already are.
So rabbits, of course, they can live in the winter. They have no problem with that. More so if they have a colony on the ground so they can dig and get out of the weather. Well, ours are going to hutch above ground. And so we wanted to make sure that they were protected a little more because this is the coldest winter we have had in the 12 years that we've lived here. We had one rabbit, our female rabbit. She wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking. And we were like, we need to do something to help her out. And so let's show you what we did. All right, so for the rabbit hutch, this isn't pretty. Just use what you have on hand. What we had on hand were some old tarps. So you see this one has a lot of holes in it, but it does a great job of blocking the wind. We have a valley down here. The wind comes off of it, gets very cold. So we've got this old tarp in front of them and on the sides to block the wind, and then another tarp behind them to help block that.
It's also got the house to help block the wind too.
Yeah. No! Oh, you pulled your bowl in. All right. So as you can see in here, we've put a lot of straw to also help block the wind. They've made it pretty messy. We're gonna have to clean out their hutches, when the weather gets warmer. We've given them a piece of wood. You can't really see it because the straw's over it, for them to lay on to, again, help block the wind. And then instead of bunny bottles, because those were freezing all the time.
Yeah, like they wouldn't last any amount of time. Like the
nipple part.
the nipple would
Yeah,
just
the nipple would
freeze.
freeze
Yeah, and they weren't
within an
getting
hour.
any drink, or if even that.
Yeah. So we have these Pyrex dishes. I know a lot of people use plastic storage containers, and those work too. We try not to use plastic very much, so we don't really have a lot of plastic storage containers. But we do have these Pyrex ones, and as you can see, it does freeze. But what we do is we come out here with a bucket of hot water and set it on top. Get back, Rosie. Get back.
You just let it sit there for. You sit and watch it, and
Yeah, so in case, you might be able to hear the ice is cracking. And once it cracks for a little bit, then we just put a little hot water in there. And then the ice will just come out. That's nice.
There's one.
There's one. There we go. So what Neil did is he cut away some of the wires so we can slide the bowls in and out. And it's pretty snug. Needs to be a little snugger though. We just need to get some little bungees. This one snapped on us. Yep. So get some little bungees to secure them even better because she pulled hers in all the way and that makes it difficult to handle. She's waiting anxiously for a drink. So in the wintertime, you also want to make sure that rabbits have extra food. So we just come out here in the morning, make sure that their feeder is filled up pretty good. Just have to get them out for her, get them out for him. And then we have to come out 2 more times during the day to give them fresh water. And we just pour the water on top of the ice. And it's fine for a few hours. Usually our kids will come out here at lunchtime, and then we come out about 4 o'clock in the afternoon just to make sure they have water, and then before it gets dark. And then when it gets dark, Neil and I usually come out here and pull out the bowls and everything. Last night we got lazy though. Come on, Poe, you going to take a drink?
And it doesn't like super get frozen during the day unless it was like the negatives.
Yeah, in the negatives it was bad. But I mean, this is better than the bottles because we had multiple bottles, so we could just fill some up and bring them out. But the ones that were frozen, it took forever for them to thaw on their own. We'd have to just have them under the hot water faucet and water run for quite a while before they would melt the ice and thaw.
Let's get a drink now.
You gonna drink now, Poe?
Many people know that rabbit manure is a good source of
It's good for your garden.
compost for garden, but dogs also like it. You got more on your side?
That's good.
All right, now the chickens. So they'll go out in this cold weather, but they don't like getting on the snow, and we don't feel like it's good for them anyway because their feet are really small. It's so cold. I think their feet might freeze. So we've been keeping them in the actual hut.
Yeah, their little combs can freeze, especially with the negative temperatures that we've been having. So we felt it best to keep them locked up in their house. Now, this isn't the most ideal situation because their house is kind of small for how many birds that we have. And so for them to be in there all day long, it's making the house pretty yucky. We'll just clean it out this afternoon and start fresh, or not this afternoon, this weekend.
Yeah, once it warms up.
Yeah. So I'm sure they appreciate being in a nice warm place. We have a heat lamp going 24/7, so they're definitely staying warm. And I didn't really have anything to use for heat, or not for heat, but sorry, for food and water bowls. So we're just using some old dog food bowls, and it's working. Again, we have to come out a couple times during the day to fill it up with water. But just like I said, use what you have. You can make anything work. So let's show you what we've done.
Break the icicles.
Do this first. Really, you don't want to get hit with them.
You put your eye out.
All right.
Look, the little latch is frozen.
All right. So here's their water bowl, and they
They've been
usually
drinking it,
drink
yeah.
most of it.
The other thing is that during the day, it'll stay. I don't think it really freezes too hard with the heat lamp.
And since they can't get on the ground and forage like they normally do, you just want to give them a little extra food. So I'll feed them a pretty big scoop this morning, and then one of our kids will come out this afternoon and give them another scoop. We also, of course, still give them scraps from the kitchen, and they appreciate that.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, had to get a new camera. Okay, so I've got the bowl all filled up. And so we had quite a bit of scraps this morning, and so enough food. This is going to last them for a few hours, hopefully. So you just want to make sure you slide it in there good enough,
To where they all can get around there, and they don't fight over it.
and then the bowl we're actually putting in one of the nests. It keeps it out of the way so they don't make a huge water mess inside the house.
You don't want it to spill. That would make it really stink in there.
And we fill it up with hot water also, so it doesn't freeze as fast.
We got really thick bedding in there, so it keeps it dry in there, even though they're all pooping in there pretty much all the time. Last time we cleaned it out, it was all just dust at the bottom, so there's not moisture down on the bottom rotting the wood or anything. It's also painted with kills just to get that moisture barrier in there.
And in the wintertime, chickens don't typically lay. If they do lay, it's just going to be a couple, not the usual egg production. So sometimes we get about 3 eggs a day with them being locked up in here.
I got 4 yesterday.
Got 4 yesterday? All right. So yeah, I mean, you still get some eggs, just not as many as normal. Now we're going to show you what we've done for the dogs, but explain a little bit more about it. Okay, so our dogs are excellent guard dogs. They make sure nothing gets to our chickens, to our rabbits, to our kids when they're out here playing. But in the wintertime, we do bring them in more often. If the temperature gets below 35, we bring them in. But under normal winter conditions, we'll show you what we've done for them.
Yeah. So this is our porch. I have a piece of lumber here to block the wind from coming in. I also have one on the other side, but we also had our wood pile stacked up there for more insulation. I I got a board here to keep the wood chips in there. Hey, you little twerp. And this one, she is in here all the time, so we know it's warm. She has like a little bed back in there that she's always in. I got some pine shaving up there because that's where the stairs are to block a little bit more air from coming in. But the chickens will also get in here when it's cold. They'll get in here. They lay eggs in here, and Rosie and Bandit eat them all. That's why his name is Bandit. Yeah, you. But yeah. Yeah, it's good to have your dogs outside because like Angie said, they protect your animals from predators. They'll get possums and armadillos, but those are really just more of an annoyance. Raccoons haven't caught a raccoon yet, but they'll catch possums all the time. And if possums get into your chicken house, they'll eat the heads off your chickens. And
Yeah. And they also keep neighbor dogs that run loose. Even though our yard is fenced in, the dogs still come around. But when they hear our dogs barking, they
run.
don't get up next to the house,
Yep.
and they stay further away. So that's really nice. And then, of course, coyotes, they don't really come around either, again, because they hear our dogs barking and defending their territory. So even though we're pretty secure with the fence, the dogs provide extra protection from larger predators. So it's really cold. I think it's 2, feels like 2, but the temperature is 9, maybe. I don't know. My nose is running. Our fingers are frozen.
my thumb is frozen for operating the phone.
We're going to go in and get warm. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.